if you're about to set foot on a canal barge, I don't know why I've never fancied one. I just always know that I would end up in the canal. But they do look very nice. Or maybe you're about to head to a stretch of canal near you where you cycle or walk along it, or maybe even do a spot of fishing. How would you like to adopt it? Well, there's now a chance to control what happens on and around your local stretch of water and to look after it by adopting it. Our reporter Michelle Adamson has been canalside in Manchester City Centre to find out more.
Well, I'm standing on the banks of the Rochdale Canal, not far from Manchester City Centre, just looking across at Lock 83. We're just next to the Ancoats retail park, and just under my feet is a horse pull-out, I'm told. It's a sort of a slatted wooden platform, which in the past, when horses used to pull canal barges, of course, occasionally the horses would fall into the water, and they'd need a device like this, which is a platform which extends into the water to get the horses out again. That's one of the many features along our historic canals here in Greater Manchester, and we have many, many miles of them. With me is John Stopp, who's a volunteer with the Canals and Rivers Trust. How many miles have we got in Greater Manchester, John?
We reckon there's about 260. And that's the bits which are under the control of the Canal and River Trust. To add to that, of course, you've got the Manchester Ship Canal and the Bridgewater Canal, which is under the control of Peel Holdings. But all of those together making two distinct rings, the Cheshire Ring and the South Pennines Ring.
Maybe not many people perhaps will have travelled on a canal boat necessarily in Greater Manchester. They might have walked alongside a canal, walked the dog, gone running alongside the canal, walked to work alongside a canal as well.
Do you know, there's a very interesting statistic, I think, which sort of encapsulates it all, is that for every 100 people that come to the canal, only 7% actually represents the boats on the canal. And we all love to see the boats on the canal and the magic that it actually brings. But what that says to you, there's an awful lot of people who've got an awful lot of interest in the canal, and so we need to be able to offer them all sorts of things to do on the canal. Whether they just want to walk, whether they just want to sit and do nothing, get involved with adoption schemes and get the spade out and improve the ambience of the canal. And a good name, I think, which encapsulates it all, is it's often called a linear park. And that's exactly what it is, because it takes in wildlife and everything else.
Well, talking of wildlife, just as on the opposite bank of the canal here, I can see a little wooden house, and that is a duck house, I'm told, and a couple of bird boxes as well. And it does look very clean and tidy here, the towpath with the cobbles. One of the men responsible for that is James Headifen, who's from the Ancoats Canal project. Now, James, you and your fellow members have actually adopted this bit of the canal, haven't you?
Yeah, we have taken on a portion of the Rochdale Canal and also the Ashton Canal, because they both run through our neighbourhood here in Ancoats.
What have you actually been doing as part of that adoption then? We've talked about the duck house there, that's a new installation, isn't it?
Well, we've also done painting, we've had fishing days, we did a history walk with the Manchester History Festival last year. We've also had canoeing days and barbecues, and we're repeating all of those this year. We've started doing some more complex towpath restoration where we actually get compactors in and things. We've been clearing weeds and rubbish off cobbles, and we're now beginning to think about areas we can plant with lavender or even edible gardens alongside the canal.
So, John, what can you do if you fancy adopting a bit of a canal near you?
I think one of the things that you have to think about is what do you actually want to do? How much time do you have? Is your passion just wandering up and down the canal and doing some litter picking? Do you like to just walk up and down the canal and look at the bird life and the wildlife? Or do you want to take on the canal and reconstruct the canal and do all sorts of things with that? So you can match your time to the tasks that you want to do and come out every day, come out every week, come out once a month, and you're working with a bunch of other people, like-minded people, probably in your local community. So it's an opportunity to develop the local community as well as just the canal. Call the Canal and River Trust. Talk to James. Come out on the canal on a Sunday. Well, every month, at the end of the month, he's always there with his bunch of guys, and they'll welcome you with open arms and even give you a free lunch to boot.